And we're back with photo critique number 11. We're going to start on a dark note tonight because we're going to introduce you to something about photography that is just a really dark part of it. And it's really unfortunate that these kind of things exist on the internet, but it's something as new students of photography that you need to be aware of. So Dave and I have gone through an emotional roller coaster in the last, 12 hours. We tried to buy him a Canon T3i this morning, and it went bad. So we're going to talk about it because this is something that you guys need to know about, and this is something that even I fell for. So, and I say that because anybody's susceptible to this kind of thing. So going to Google and typing in Canon T3i and looking for search results, and over here you can see the responses. So a couple things stand out right away. First thing is digitaloutlets.net. Anything .net you should be definitely aware of. That is not a very good site. So you want to look at the numbers because that's definitely the lowest one. Another one here. You want to be wary of these kind of things. But then Abe's of Maine is where Dave and I actually purchased a camera from this morning, or at least attempted to purchase a camera from, because I was like, well, these ones, and we'll go to it real quick. These are what is known as scam sites. They're going to sell you some refurbished piece of shit that probably got soaked in water. The screen won't work. There will be some significant problem. Or what will happen is what happened to myself when I tried to purchase a camera this morning. So I went to Abe's of Maine. I wanted to get a T3i, and I was looking at this, and it says right here, brand new, factory fresh import model. Click here to see a return policy, 4.6 stars, which you know is garbage. That is just designed in their own site. Those are their own employees leaving reviews. And then it says right here, $449, save 31%. It says brand new factory fresh import model. So this is the fine print that you need to worry about because it says import. Now import means a lot of different things. Import can normally mean gray market, which means that it's bought from an outside market outside the United States. And that's what this technically should mean, but they skew this word in how they present this model to you. So we ordered this model. There's a couple different options that you can choose from, but it doesn't give you any other options besides the factory fresh import model. So this is where they catch you because they put that little word right in there. And then you got a couple choices, but it doesn't matter because there's no real non-import model available. There might be somewhere else on the site, but this one that brought you to the site doesn't outline the fact that it's what they're really trying to sell you. The base argument here is that no matter what Canon you get, they're all basically the same camera. Maybe the plug that goes into the wall is going to be different, but that's totally adaptable or replaceable for a few dollars off eBay. But what these cocksuckers are going to do is you're going to place your order, and then what's going to happen is a few hours later, and actually let's go into my email here. They emailed me several times today because I've been lighting up their social media. So here we go. 7:49 a.m. this morning, placed this order, paid for it for PayPal, shipped it to Dave. Everything was good to go. EOS Rebel T3i digital SLR camera with 18 to 55 millimeter IS lens. Product description. Product description is the fine print. Product description is import model. Now, import model technically, normally, gray market is not a bad thing. My 70D I bought from the gray market. It works fine. The flash is broken, but I don't use the flash anyway, and it came like that. Maybe because it was broken, but the 70D is known to have problems with the flash. So I don't really hold that against them, nor do I care. But the basic argument is my camera still works fine. There's no Japanese on the menu, as I'll get to in a second. There doesn't need to be an upgraded battery. It's still the same Canon EOS 70D DSLR with 18 to 35 millimeter STM kit with an EP B9 battery. It's just that's not really an arguable point. And to anybody who knows that, to have a conversation with the cocksuckers that I had today, it got kind of nasty because they called me, and let's see if I go back. So after they received my order, a few hours later, they contacted me and said, oh, hey, by the way, we just need to confirm your purchase. So what happened is then they got my phone number and then they called me. And they were like, hey, sir, just so you know, you bought an import model. And I was like, okay, what are you trying to push? And he goes, well, the thing is about the import model is that the menu's in Japanese. And I was like, well, I know the menu of the Canon T3i. I'll just switch it to English. That's not a big deal. And he goes, oh, well, no, see, the thing is with our models, they're only in Japanese. And every time you turn off the camera, it's going to revert to Japanese. But we can fix that for you with an additional software upgrade for $59.95. And I go, right at that point, I was like, you know what? Just cancel the fucking order. And he goes, well, no, sir, I don't understand why you're getting upset. And I go, if you're going to try to upsell me on a bunch of bullshit that I don't need, just cancel the order. I know what a T3i has, and I know how it's built. And he goes, well, sir, see, the thing about this one is it's an import model, so it's only going to record in PAL, which is the international format for video. And it's not going to record NTSC unless you pay for an extra import software edition here at Abe's of Maine for an additional $29.95. And at the same time, the battery is only in a 1-hour battery, so you might want to consider upgrading that for $85. So these people are what they're going to do is they're going to call you and try to upgrade you and upsell you on a bunch of bullshit that the camera should already have in the first place. And then when you try to tell them that you're upset with the order, they're going to try to tell you some other garbage and upsell you. The bottom line is, if you get suckered into one of these deals, there's a couple things you can do. Because this is the important part. These things happen, even to me, happen today. But see, I'm not the kind of person that's just going to sit back and take this kind of bullshit. So I went ahead and I emailed every single person there, and I told them everything about me. And I told them who they were and who they were messing with. And I just simply laid it out to what the problem was. And then I attacked their Yelp page. Then I went on there. There's my review on the Yelp page. I also posted it on my personal site, which is a Google linked site, which is going to index that information and then use SEO to put that right into Google. At the same time, I also posted it on my Facebook, on my Twitter. I contacted the company and told them what I was doing, and I told them there's nothing that I wanted. I'm just going to rip them apart because what they're doing is called predatory free market capitalism, and it's a terrible, inhumane, deplorable practice. They're going to sucker you in with low prices, and then they're going to rip you apart and try to upsell you on things that should have been involved. So Abe's of Maine is what is wrong with society. If you're wondering what is wrong with society, here's one company that is just using deplorable business practices to just go ahead and do whatever the fuck they want and rip people off. So you should just go ahead and be aware that these people, and especially, and I told them, I was like, I hope you're not dumb enough to actually use your own name. Morris Katz. Definitely wasn't the guy's name. Let's go else. Let's see who else emailed me. In fact, they emailed me again this evening. And again, I'm sorry that this is such on a dark note, but this is the world that we live in. And these are the people that are responsible for the world that we live in. So, I mean, I feel that it's necessary to call these people out. So what else we got? Frank, here we go. I don't have any issues besides waiting on a refund. I know enough to know who you are and what you were doing. One of the online photography communities I'm a part of was just talking about your company the other day. I just missed it. You are well-known cheats, and you might have actually fucked with the wrong person this time. I am not saying I can do anything that will really hurt you, as far as your reviews are already horrible, and people know. But what I can do is implement many keywords in Google-affiliated sites that when people put your name into Google, they will see my articles and videos. I am already working on... This is ridiculous. I'm going to cut. I'm sorry, but the point is, I'm fucking pissed. So, either way, don't let these companies mess with you. That's the general point. Don't let these companies mess with you. I just went on for that for like too long. But that's the general point, is that you have the voice. You have the ability to spam on Facebook, on Yelp, on Twitter. You can attack them in social media, and you can I got my money back right away. So, okay, sorry for such a dark note, but that is how you don't buy cameras online. If you want to buy cameras online, go to B&H. They're trusted, their information's good, their cameras are good. You're going to pay a little bit extra, but you get what you pay for. Don't fall for these Abe's of Maine bullshit sites. I mean, look at the reviews. 1.5 stars. Do your research before. Don't fall for it. That's the bottom line. So, here we go. Into the review. Welcome back to Photo Critique 11, everybody. I'm sorry for such a dark intro. In fact, maybe I'll just cut out that intro completely and make it a separate video. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Welcome to Photo Critique 11. Welcome back, everybody, from spring break. I've had a fantastic time in the last couple weeks. I've been doing a lot of different things, and as I can see, all of you are as well. So I just ripped on Abe's of Maine for like 15 minutes. I'm going to make that a separate video. That is not going to be part of the critique, but I will leave the link down below in the description so that you can watch me rip them apart, because I'm furious with them. But let's not focus on that. Let's get to the images, because we took a break, we came back, here we are. Things are good. I made a joke today. I was like, maybe I should clean out the room. Guys, come on, relax. If you don't submit photos, I don't care. That's your own choice. But some of you I know have been taking photos, penny. And I'm just a little curious why you're not submitting them. You took a little bus ride down towards DC, I believe, and never saw any pictures. But hey, I'm not here to pressure you. I'm here to make things fun and try to help people. And we've got some great progress this week and some great pictures. So we'll get right into it, because a lot of great things are happening. We're going to start right off with Austin, who, I'm a schmuck. I apologize, Austin. We've been international, folks. Austin is in, God damn it, I hope I don't get this wrong, Ireland. And he's international, and I didn't know that, and I just didn't pay enough attention. And I appreciate your input, and I appreciate your photos, because we're starting off with your first one tonight, and I'm just going to clear the garbage away. Fantastic photo. I mean, this is just fantastic. Like, really awesome. Really jived me up right in the beginning. Black and white, totally support it. I actually went black and white for one picture this week, and I'm a little bit on that kick. Dave pushed me a little bit that way. He's like, why don't you do many black and whites? I was like, in my head, I was like, that's a good point. Why don't I? So maybe at the end, I'll show you one of my pictures this week that I'm a little bit proud of. But for Austin, fantastic shot, man. Nice little out of focus foreground rope here. I love the people in the background, dynamic lighting. The subject is clear. The image, I mean, it's perfect shot. I mean, if I was gonna do anything, I just drag this down just maybe into there, just because I like that as the top framing device. And I mean, you could maybe pull this over just a hair, just to crop that in. Oh, it's a little bit more powerful, just a little bit more punched in. That's my only critique. Other than that, man, fantastic shot. Definitely the better of the two that you sent in. The other one, and this one was cool, because when I saw in my email, I was like, it showed me only this part, and I was like, should have gone vertical. And then once I downloaded it, it's vertical, and you got some positive aspects here. You got a nice foreground image for framing. Again, some nice foreground image for framing. A clear background image for framing. The angle is a little bit disputed to me. I would have tilted it just a tweak that way. And maybe not that far. Maybe back a little bit. It is a funny angle. Maybe that's a little bit better. Just for me. I mean, personal choice. But two very solid images. No overexposure. Well-defined lines. Framing. Out of focus foreground. Very clear. Non-destructive background. Great photo. Fantastic photo, man. I'm really happy to have you in the group. And I apologize. I didn't know that you were not in the States. I should have known that. Some things get away from me. But how are you guys doing? Like, how's things? How's life? How was your spring break? I know Kim traveled. She took some pictures and traveled. Why do I only have one of Kim's pictures in here? Oh, no, I have two. Okay, cool. All right, next one up is actually one of Kim's. And I'm going to give the Kim photo of the week for this. Because not only does it have a timestamp, which I know is small, but this picture emotionally hit me. When I opened this image and I looked at it, and then when I still look at it now, I fucking hate zoos. I mean, it's nice to be able to go and experience animals in this way, but this image makes me want to cry. The scratch marks on the glass and the look in the eyes is painful to look at. I wish you would have gotten lower. I wish you would have gotten another 2 feet lower and just taken a knee and gotten right into his eyes, because you have just a great subject. But I'm still amazed at your image. It's well done. It's framed, out of focus foreground. Subject is well defined, out of focus background. Your color, your contrast, your blacks and your whites are all good. I mean, it's a fantastic image. It's emotional. I connect with it, and it hit me in the feels. I feel for this animal. I want to break this animal out. I feel really bad, but it is an amazing image, and this is what I'm talking about. This is, if you can't take people somewhere they haven't been, show them something they haven't seen, or show them something that they need to be reminded of. And this is something people need to be reminded of. The eye goes at that 510 stance 99.9% of the time. Looking down on this animal is a nice angle. Getting a little bit lower and getting a little bit closer, maybe a close up of this eyes direct would have been a fantastic shot, but still, it beats me up to look at pictures like this. Great picture, Kim. Really nice work. So, moving on to Dave. So, as I just ripped apart Abe's of Maine, and I'm going to just have to cut out the ending because I just kind of just went on. This is one of two of Dave's last images that he's going to take with this camera. We ordered him a new camera this morning, a T3i. It's used, but it's a nice looking camera, well taken care of. All the product information, discs, manuals, batteries, battery chargers are in it. And this is actually, I think Dave might have taken this with his phone. He might have taken it with his camera, but he messaged me one day. It was like, oh, it's raining outside. I was like, oh, look, good opportunities for reflection. So he ran outside and took a picture, excuse me, of this tree reflecting in the puddle, which is over here. It was a tough image to take because of his extended focal length on the fixed lens camera, whether it's on his phone or on his handheld camera as well. Either one, they're pretty much the same. So a little bit limited range. Once he gets his T3i with an 18mm lens, he's going to be able to get a really nice vertical shot. So I'm happy to see this as one of the last images that Dave's going to do some really nice stuff. On the plus side, he resent in one of his favorite pictures, Dave and his pot, I guess. It's a very nice pot. It's not the 510 shot. He did take an E, and I appreciate that point of view. It's very clean. That's it. Looks good. Looks as it should. So I look forward to you getting that T5i. Great job, Dave. Fantastic work. And Dave actually is my now legitimate assistant. He is a production assistant on an actual television show. He's been working his ass off, and he got his own camera. He got some money in PayPal this week. I'm really happy to have him. He makes things a lot easier on me, and I appreciate to have you, Dave. So fantastic. He presented himself, said, "This is what I want to do." I said, "Do it." He did it. He excelled and succeeded at what he said he was going to do, and now I'm proud to say he's my assistant. Tim, another one that, man, just taking the time to put time into your craft. I mean, you inspired me, man. I mean, watching you on the news this week, watching you follow through on your project and get recognition for it just makes me so proud to know you and to know about what you're doing and to know about your project and to even have any kind of help that I can throw your way, or just to look at it as a friend, man. I mean, you're really onto some cool stuff. You got a great angle. Keep at it. One suggestion I have is don't rush it. Find those unique spots because, I was working on, and I still am working on my interpretations of water set. And I was going to do a publish maybe last month, but after looking at my images and as we've talked about, I realized I just didn't have the shots. And I'm going to Iceland in a few months, and the land of fire and ice, I would be a fool to neglect that ability to add to my set. So keep going, keep traveling, keep pushing it. Get inside this castle, man, and get some cool pictures because you're onto something. You're onto a really cool published book that you could sell in bookstores. You're onto something very cool. So your image here, fantastic image. My tweak is a little bit of level. Just want to do that, and I know you're gonna hate me, but just to center it a little bit, it's cool. Other than that, I know you really push your color schemes. You really push the range of what is normal and what is not, and you cross that line. And I appreciate your style for that. And I realize right now that my scheming might not be right. But fantastic job, man. And this one I love. Out of the two that you sent, I like this one more. I love the fence. I love how, because now I know your story behind this set of images, and I know that you're on the outside of this fence and you're just waiting to get in. And you got to write, man. At this point, I need you to write or make some video, do some interviews. You should sit with your camera and talk to it. You have the potential of a cool documentary here. You're doing something that people don't do, and you have a story that is not familiar. I would suggest continuing to take images and starting to do on-camera interviews with your own camera. Set the focal length, jump in front of the camera, and do a short bit once a week about what you're doing. If you want to learn a little bit about video editing, I'd love to help you on the side and put it together, because you have, along with the news story that you were just in, and intertwined with your pictures and a nice narrative, a little bit of cool music, you can make a really nice short film, maybe 22 minutes, and you could submit it to maybe some film festivals, and really get your photography and your story and your message and your set of pictures that you're working on out there. I really want to encourage you to pursue this as much as possible. You already have a light on you. People are already paying attention. You have press. You have following. Just keep at it, man. You're show of the week right here, man. I mean, Tim, fantastic. Really cool stuff, man. I'm really proud of you. Brenda. Brenda's happy with a couple images that she shot indoors this week, and I totally understand, as these low light images can be very difficult, and you did fantastic. That's really the bottom line. Low light images need a lot of time for light to get into the sensor, and what that can cause is a little bit of motion blur. So here your images are pretty clean, pretty straightforward. The lighting's pretty decent. They're a little soft, just because I can tell she's moving just ever so slightly during the time that shutter is open. But as you've been struggling with interior lights, flashes, and just not noonday lighting, this is definitely a dramatic improvement. As far as your posts, I would suggest cropping it just a little bit. Bring that down. You got a lot of extra headroom, and just bring it in. You know, there's some things you can do and just post-process a little bit of clarity. It does look a little bit yellow to me, so you could just drop a little bit of blues into it. And there you go. A nice clean image. Very well done, though. And out of the two, definitely this is the better of the two. This is a fantastic shot. A little bit underexposed. You could add a little bit of light to it. But I love this image. Very vibrant red. Some nice negative space pushing down. I think a little bit much. You could probably lose a little bit of that and give her a little bit of lead room. Lead room is from where the subject's nose is pointing. You always want to give them more lead room than you do not lead room. I don't remember the term, but see, there's slightly less room back here than there's in front of her, which gives her direction, and adds some parallel lines, perpendicular lines, directional lines that add some kind of action. A little bit of vibrance might really push that red up just a bit and push your skin tones a little bit. But even though, for an interior shot, fantastic. Very cool. So another one from Kim. She was happy with this one. This is a cool shot. You got a tree, you got a jet, and some chemtrails, or whatever you want to call them. Some vapor trails, this is the fuel getting crystallized in ice form as it exits the rear of the turbojet engine. So that might be that. Or it might be poisonous gases, depending on who you talk to. Out of the two images you sent, Kim, night and day. Here's your other one. Let's go back there. Amazing image. And this is what I was talking about, going somewhere and taking images that you're not used to. This is a cool image, but at the same time, this is not nearly as pronounced as your other image. Just my thoughts. And the greens look a little washed out. That's all. But hey, hashtag Save New York is over. You guys are melting. Welcome back to having some actual life. I really appreciate that. As we end with Reliable Shawn. And Reliable Shawn, oh, there we go, did 5 images that he stitched together in post-production for a fantastic panoramic. I can see a couple bleed marks here and here and here, but that's okay. My first interpretation of this photo was fantastic. You have nice framing on your left vector and your right with these two pine trees. You have a nice amount of sky. I think a little bit of clarity could be added. I think a little bit of vibrance could be added. I think you could check your whites and blacks. Yeah. And I think there's 50-50 before and after. I think it makes it a little bit more of a dynamic range, and as you and I have spoken about, I think you need to work a little bit more on your post-processing, and really get into Lightroom. That's really at the point where you're at, Shawn. Your photos, your framing, your composition, the dynamic range of your images, all of that is superior to where you were a few months ago, and now where you really need to push forward is into post-processing, because as we're utilizing these cameras and either they're shooting JPEG or RAW, it's still making recommendations for us. We need to make the final call about how our images look. And I think this is a fantastic set of images put together in a panoramic mode. You're definitely growing as a photographer. Great job this week, everybody. If you want to learn about how not to buy a camera, watch my other video about the Abes of Maine scam, which I just ripped apart for a few minutes, but happy to have you back. The assignment for this week. Oh, I'm sorry. I see I get ahead of myself. We're going to get back. Okay, so the library. My two images. What am I proud of this week? So this hike, I posted that was hell. Total waste of time, hike 6 miles, and I wanted to post that to show to you guys that it doesn't always go well. But at the same time, I took some pictures along the way. And what are one of the images? So I was working on repetition, which was an assignment for one of the classes that I partake in, and so I was trying to use repetition, as you can see with this pigeon on the thing here. Was trying to do that. Didn't work out well. This was really a bad day for images. I'm really unhappy with kind of what came across. Just nothing good. Just hiked 6 miles and got a bunch of shitty photos and a time lapse that didn't really work out. But out of them, this is not it. Where is it? Is it this one? No. This is it. Okay, this is one of the images that I took by chance, and I'm actually pretty happy with. And as I was saying, Dave has been like bitching in my ear, and there he is texting me. Dave, give me a minute, all right? But anyway, I like this image. I do. This is one image I'm proud of this week, and maybe this is just where I'll end it. And why I like it is because of the symmetry. I like the absence of subject followed by the contrast of action of subject. I have Danielle dancing with Mama, who, if you look closely, her mouth is open. And so she's smiling, she's dancing, it's a shot of action. I like the contrast. I didn't shoot it black and white, but I used one of my presets of heavy contrast black and white scenic modes that I got from Toby at Photorec TV. And I really was happy with the way it came out. A little bit of lens flare, nice symmetry, nice negative space, and that's the image I'm proud of this week. And I caught it on a whim, but all the other images I fucking hate. Let's see this bird. Stupid fucking bird. Yeah, this is my idea of repetition for framing a subject, and I took about like 30 photos of this damn bird. He's fluttering his tail at me and posing and being a bitch, but either way, whatever. Take some more photos. I get so much work right now, I just can't fucking do it. Repetition again, little boxes on the hillside. Oh, we're zoomed in, that's why. Yeah, repetition. Oh, okay. So, focus of this week. This week's assignment is what you see here, depth of field. This is depth of field. We've talked about it a bunch, but this is your assignment this week. You have two options. You have a very narrow depth of field right here. This is a narrow depth of field. Out of focus foreground, out of focus background, in focus subject, depth of field. That is depth of field because you have out of focus, and mid focus is where your tight focus, your tack sharp is. So this is depth of field. This is what I mean by depth of field. So I want you to exemplify this in your photos this week. I want you to take a couple photos, send 1 or 2 in that you're proud of, that illustrate the idea of depth of field. Now you can either go very narrow, this is a very narrow depth of field, or you can go to, let's see. This is a very far range of depth of field. This is, as you can see, many things are in detail. Instead of an out-of-focus foreground, which is slightly out of focus, but more largely in focus midsection, followed by a slightly out-of-focus background, this is a very large depth of field. And the difference between this photo and the last photo is the f-stop, really. This is f-stop f22. And then if we go back to... gotta find it. There we go. This is well, shit, what was I on? Probably 3.5. In fact, I can probably go to info. Oh no, this is f14 actually. A lot of daylight versus nightlight. But either way, as you can see, f22, as I've explained, gives you a deeper depth of field, as where 3.5 will give you a very narrow depth of field. So that really is up to you. Awesome. So that's that. That's what we're focusing on for the next week. And my phone's going off. I think you guys are amazing. Great work. I appreciate everything you're doing. I gotta take this phone call. Everything's just crazy.